The screen is absolute, crushing black. There is no horizon, there is no depth, just the weight of total silence. Then, the silence breaks. A low-frequency hum begins, barely audible at first, like a tremor deep underground. It vibrates through the air, growing in intensity, pressing against the senses. The hum shifts, rising in pitch. A deep thrum demands focus, darkness resists. A sharp light slit the dark. Line hangs, slicing void. Hum locks steady. The light does not flicker. It does not fade. It simply exists. A solitary mark of order in the infinite dark. The screen frame quakes. A cold light pierces. Light lingers. Silence shattered by a resonant voice. Words anchor light's purpose. As the voice settles, the hum shifts, adopting a rhythmic, pulsing quality that vibrates in time with the white light. A second line, sharp and bright, then a third, to the right. 3 lights pulse, expanding, contracting. The hum pulses, rippling through darkness. Lines anchor, locked with intent. Voice returns, calm, observing. Light pulses bloom, forging creation. Golden light bleeds, void stirs. Ink bleeds, warming sterile lines. This gold light spreads, pushing back the absolute black, turning the void into a space of potential. The hum changes tone, shifting from a mechanical thrum to a resonant, melodic vibration that fills the ears. Golden halo glows, soft light stretches, voice shifts. You're meant to begin, not follow. Golden light pulses, filling void with hope. Golden light carves void, dissolving warmth. The golden radiance no longer merely fills the space, it begins to organize. From the heart of the glow, thin filaments of light detach, drifting outward like sparks caught in a slow current. These filaments snap together, forming sharp angles and precise intersections. A triangle emerges, then a square, then a complex, multifaceted prism that rotates in the emptiness. The void is suddenly populated by a swarm of these geometric forms, each one pulsing with its own internal frequency. Silent, intricate dance, a lattice of light. Mind constructs, not observes. Shapes bloom, hidden architecture. They chime, lock, and harmonize. Gold lattice hangs, voice cuts through hum. There is something within you, it notes, that sees what others cannot yet see. That is not confusion, that is awakening. Geometric edges tremble, light resists. Lines yield, joints soften, angles melt. Lattice folds, light breathes rhythmically. Shapes drift, flow like ribbons. Curves dance, shedding prisms chill for life's grace. Light curves, transitions flow, vision a path. Light ribbons swirl, drawn by unseen gravity. Ribbons strain, glow, whip, coil, fight, pull, until the momentum becomes undeniable. One by one, the lines snap toward the axis. They do not tangle, they align. Chaos yields to stark, geometric lines. A glowing orb, a spinning core, a sharp, bright edge cuts darkness. The circle thrums, locking into space. A steady anchor, white light blazes. The circle glows. A radiant eye. Voice commands. Power isn't chased, it is something you learn to hold. The light within the circle undergoes a subtle transformation. Core's white fades to gold. Instead, it clings to the edges of the circle, thickening until the light itself seems to possess weight and substance. The circle pulsed, a steady heartbeat. Amber light bathes void, touching emptiness. The circle stills, charged space. The warm, golden circle remains suspended, a beacon of steady light in the vast void. Then, the equilibrium breaks. A sharp, jagged line of brilliant white light erupts from the base of the circle, slicing downward through the darkness. It glides with keen intent. They form a perfect inverted triangle. The moment the shape closes, the physics of the space shift. Light drains, pulled by unseen gravity. Golden glow fills triangle, not chaotic. Energy flows, the triangle burns, swallowing darkness. Light anchors sharp angles, a heavy structure. Sharp light anchor, dense, absolute. Truth lies within, not without. The sigil's glow rippled, distorting light. The triangle hums, vibrating wildly. Gold light flickers, sharp white pulses. Warping air bends light, shockwaves ripple. 能量涌动，探寻画框深处。It is primed, unstable, and waiting for the final command to release the pressure. Blue light bleeds, gold persists. These two colors do not blend, they swirl, fighting for dominance within the geometric lines. Low roar vibrates chest, a heavy, framing pressure. Air thickens, ripples distort space. Light lines morph to pressure. Gold-blue streams blur. Tension mounts, a grinding roar. Blinding sigil burns, straining silence, a system on collapse's edge. Light, a radiant mass, shatters the void. Gold-blue currents lock, blinding point. Silence fell. Then the sigil shattered. Gold, blue light explodes, shattering geometry. Radiant shockwave paints the void blindingly vibrant. The lines of the triangle and circle dissolve into the expanding mass, becoming part of a fluid, unstoppable wave. Light floods, shadows vanish, a violent, beautiful expansion. Absolute power ignites. A searing glow banishes night. A light field, commanding all. The radiance holds its peak, a blinding static field of gold and blue that occupies every inch of the screen. The hum vibrated, a deep resonance from light's core. A sharp voice sliced the air, commanding. Say this with me, the voice dictates, the words landing with the weight of a physical strike. I open. As the command echoes, the light ripples, expanding outward as if responding to the call. Gold-blue currents surge. I awaken. Light flares, whites out screen, then pulses. Luminous power fills vision. The final pockets of shadow retreat, unable to withstand the pressure of the radiance. The sigil flares one last time, a blinding surge that consumes the remaining darkness in a single, decisive motion. The screen is now a pure, unwavering field of gold and blue, stripped of all void. Voice now commands, an absolute decree. I hold, the voice declares, and the light hardens, forming a solid, luminous foundation beneath the shifting patterns. Energy ripples, revealing the sigil's core. I am the beginning and the bridge. As these words land, the light stretches, forming a singular, glowing path that cuts through the center of the frame. The bridge, power's bold decree. The bridge stands, gold lines fracture, new layers rotate, sliding with mechanical precision. Voice echoes, sharp, forging paths unseen. It surges, a physical power, a new dimension. Light blooms where sight once fled. Radiant corridors stretch, light a living environment. Light layers bloom, infinite depth, wild energy. Brilliant light engulfs the bridge. The hum deepens, dropping into a frequency that vibrates against the very edges of the vision. Light pulses, filling space with pressure. The geometry does not just shift, it locks into place, forming a rigid, crystalline structure of gold and blue. No permission needed, I command, the voice states, and the light flares in response, a sharp, white-hot burst that ripples across the entire field. Hum spikes, light expands, frame warps. Light fractures, power reigns. Absolute truth crushes all doubt. The hum's piercing crescendo vibrated the light. Gold and blue crystals swirl, pulled by gravity's embrace. Every line, every layer, every fragment of radiance is pulled into a tight, spinning vortex. White, gold, then blue, tearing sight. Energy-fueled voice booms. Hidden things answer me, the voice declares, and the vortex flares, blinding in its intensity. What was scattered returns through me. Blinding light, a searing zenith, erasing all. Name strikes hard. Brilliance consumes all. The brilliance does not fade. It intensifies, pressing against the limits of the frame. Sigil lines melt, gold cobalt ribbons. They are no longer distinct paths. They are currents of raw, uncontained energy. The hum vibrated the air, pure and high. Shapes melt. Lines vanish. Void consumes. There is only the light. It pulses with a rhythm that defies time, expanding and contracting with the force of a star. Blinding, white-hot core-searing pressure. Pure power obliterates. screen a gateway of light. The searing pressure against the frame begins to yield. That singular, blinding white-hot core fractures, splitting into 1,000 drifting strands of gold and deep blue. Aggressive hum drops, a deep thrum. The light is no longer a wall, it is a veil, thinning and becoming translucent. Sharp edges of the geometry reappear, heartbeats slow, a gentle pulse. The heat dissipates, replaced by a cool, ambient clarity. The brilliant saturation of the screen recedes, drawing back from the edges until the darkness begins to reclaim the periphery. What remains is a gentle, lingering glow. Stillness reigns. Chaos vanished. Golden pulse beats, not vanishing. Light folds inward, a thin thread. It contracts further, shrinking into a singular, brilliant point of light that hangs suspended in the absolute dark. Warmth fades, then a silent collapse. The light is gone. The screen returns to a deep, quiet darkness, devoid of any shape or color. The hum has ceased. In the center of this stillness, the voice returns. You were meant to begin.